Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to be going over how you can find the least common multiple and highest common factors of a sequence of numbers. Now this is a relatively difficult topic, it's a grade 5 topic, so it's a bit harder than some of the previous ones we've covered, but I'll explain it in a way that makes it easy for you to understand. So let's start with the least common multiple. The least common multiple is the smallest number that will divide by all the numbers in question. So if you're given two numbers and are asked to find their lowest common multiple, you just list the multiples of both numbers and you find the smallest one that's in both lists. So if we had 12 and 15, if we were to list the multiples of both these numbers, so for 12, we'd have 12, 24, 36, and so on. Then for 15, we'd have 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, and so on. If we look at the two lists of multiples here, we see that the least common multiple, or the lowest common multiple, is going to be 60. 60 appears in both here. But we could use another method to find out what the least common multiple would be. And we'd refer back to the factor trees. So if we find the prime factors of both 12 and 15 and work from there, what we'd have is, 3 and 4. The 4 splits into 2 and 2. So the prime factors of 12 are 3, 2, and 2. With 15, we have 3 and 5. So if we wanted to find the least common multiple of 12 and 15 using this method, what we do is look at the prime factors on both of the factor trees and record the max number of times any one prime number appears in any of these factor trees. So if we start off with the 12, we see that it has 3 as a prime factor. 15 also has 3 as a prime factor. So the greatest number of times that 3 appears in any of these trees is 1. So we just write down 1, 3 at the bottom here. If you look at the 2's here, there are 2 2's in this factor tree, and there are none in the factor tree for 15. But because the max number of 2's that we see in any one of these factor trees is 2, we record 2 2's at the bottom here. And then the last prime factor to look at is 5. 5 appears only once in either of these prime factor trees, so we only write down 1, 5. All we need to do now to find the least common multiple is just times all these numbers together, the 3, the 2, the 2, and the 5. When we do that, we get, 3 times 2, which is 6, times 2 is 12, times 5 is 60. So the least common multiple equals 60, as we found previously. Now this also applies if we have a larger sequence of numbers. For example, if we had 12, 15, 6, and 20. The same method applies. So let's develop the factor trees here. From the 12, it breaks down into 3, 4, and then 2, and 2. For 15, it's 5 and 3. For 6, it's 3 and 2. And for 20, it's 5, 4, and then it goes to 2 and 2. Same thing here. Let's look at the first prime factor. In the 12, we've got 3. What's the max number of times that 3 appears in any one of these factor trees? The answer is once. Is once in the 12, once in the 15, and once in the 6. So we just write down 1, 3 here. And let's look at the max number of times that 2 appears in any one of these factor trees. The answer is 2. 2 times in 12 and 2 times in 20. It appears 1 time in 6, but remember we're looking at the max number of times it appears in any one factor tree. So we write 2 2's here. Then we look at the 5's. The max number of times 5 appears in any one of these factor trees is once. Once in the 15 and once in the 20. So we just write 1, 5 here. So when we look at the least common multiple of this sequence of numbers here, the 12, 15, 6, and 20, the prime factors we'll work with are the 3, 2, 2, and 5. Again, to find the least common multiple, we just times these together. which again gives us 60. Now in this case, it just happens to be 60 again. It could have been another number if these two numbers were different, but that's the answer in this case. So that was how to find the least common multiple. Let's look at how to find the highest common factor. So the highest common factor is the biggest number that will divide into all the numbers in question. So if you're given two numbers and you're asked to find their highest common factor, just list the factors of both numbers and find the biggest one that's in both lists. So if you were asked to find the highest common factor of 54 and 36, you would list the factors of 54, which are 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 18, 27, and 54. And you do the same for 36, which would give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18, 36. And then you'd find the biggest factor that's common to both lists. In this case, it's 18. 18 is found here and here, and this is the biggest common factor of 54 and 36. But again, there's another way for you to find out the highest common factor using the factor trees. So again, let's develop these factor trees for 54 and 36. We'll start with 54. Split this into 3 and 18. And the 18 will split into 6 and 3. And then 3 and 2. If we develop the 36, we get 3 and 12, 3 and 4, and then 2 and 2. So to find the highest common factor, you'd circle all the common factors, so the factors that are found in 54 and 36. So in this case, we've got 3 common to both, another 3 common to both, and 1, 2 common to both. So if you were to list this out, the common factors are 2, 3, and 3. All we need to do is times these values together, and that will give us the highest common factor. In this case, is 2 times 3 times 3, which is, 2 times 3, 6, times 3, 18. Which is the same answer as we got for the previous technique. Again, you can do this for a larger sequence of numbers. Let's say we had 15, 24, and 27. We just do the same thing, we follow the same steps. So we develop these factor trees and get 5 and 3, 6 and 4, which turns into 3 and 2, 2 and 2. 27 turns into 9 and 3, which turns into 3 and 3. So if we want to look for the common factors between all three of these numbers, it's actually only 1, 3. There's only 1, 3 common to all three of these numbers. So the highest common factor of these three numbers is 3. So before I finish this video, I'll just give you a few questions you can try for yourself, and the answers will be displayed at the end. If you found this video helpful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel so that way you can be updated for when I upload a new video. Bye guys.